Welcome back to Football Daily, ladies and gentlemen. Today we need to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Right, before we get into the main part of the show, you know the score by now. Go into the comments and let us know what you want us to talk about on Sunday Vibes. Is it just a continuation of this, maybe? You know, do you want to see a how to fix Man United? Who should Man United appoint type of video? Let us know in the comments. Whilst you're down there, hit the like button, hit subscribe. It really does help us out. And we need some ideas. Okay, let's crack on, because all week, Man United fans and neutrals, to be fair, have been tweeting me. They've been DMing me. Ole out. Ole out. What's your thoughts on Ole? Give us your opinions on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Okay. Today I'm going to make a video on the whole bloody thing. So just stop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split it down into 3 segments. How's he done so far in his Manchester United reign? How's he doing right now? And what could happen in the future? 3 very clear portions. Segments. Not portions. It's not fucking food. Okay, so how's he done so far? Well, we're approaching 3 years of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reign, aren't we? Of course, he took over in December 2018, about halfway through as caretaker manager. And I have to say, my initial thought to how's he done so far is that he's done a good job. If you take it back to around about December 2018, just remember how much of a mess Manchester United were in towards those latter stages of the Jose Mourinho era. The dressing room, for one, was split in half. There were players that hated the manager. There was a couple of players that liked him. There was training ground incidents, dressing room incidents. The player disharmony was crazy. United were, of course, 6th in the league. I think they'd lost 5 of 17 Premier League games. They'd taken something like 26 points from 17 games. I think they conceded 29 goals. They were 19 points off top spot. They were 11 points off 4th place. Combine that with how much the players were hating life, and that was one of the most toxic periods I've ever seen as a Manchester United fan. And I've seen some dross. Weirdly enough, actually, Jose's last game of that period was against Liverpool as well. Obviously played with Liverpool this weekend, and I was just looking at that 11. I've got it up in front of me here. De Gea, Darmian, he's gone. Smalling, he's gone. Lindelof, still there. Young, gone. Dalot, hanging on. Herrera, gone. Matic is still there. Rashford's still there. Lingard's still there. Lukaku's gone. Jones, gone. Fellaini, gone. Valencia, gone. Romero's gone. Mata hanging on. Martial is kind of hanging on. Pogba is still there. Now, Jose, of course, spent 400 million on transfers. It's well documented, isn't it? That period of Jose Mourinho. The average age of the squad in his final season was about 28. The average age of his signings was about 27, 26. But he won silverware. He won a Europa League, and people will point to that. He won a League Cup. People will point to that. He also won a Community Shield, but nobody honestly cares about the Community Shield, do they? So as toxic as the end was, and to be honest with you, as toxic as the last almost year was, he did win silverware, and that is a big black mark against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's name, because he still hasn't won any. And he has spent an awful lot of money, you know, huge fees on the likes of Jadon Sancho, huge fees on Harry Maguire. The average squad age has come down to about 26. The average signing age, you know, Jose Mourinho's was over 26. Ole's is about 23. So clearly, there are areas he's improved, and recruitment is one of them. I also think the squad overall is in a much better position. I think he's really done well at shifting players out and bringing the right type of profile players in. I think that they're a much more harmonious group and much more positive. I think that he's done really good things behind the scenes. You know, he's been involved heavily in the appointment of a footballing director, of a technical director, of an academy overhaul. He's seen Justin Cochrane come in. He's seen Eric Ramsey come in, two of the most exciting young coaches in English football. So off the field, I think Ole has done a lot of good work at Manchester United, and I think even the biggest Ole outer in the Premier League, or as a Manchester United fan, would probably admit that. And there has been some progression up to this point. You know, 6th in his first season, 3rd in his second season, 2nd last season on 74 points, which isn't a huge tally. But again, we come back to that big black mark, don't we? Trophyless, lost the Europa League final, 4 semi-final defeats. In those big moments, he hasn't been able to get over the line. And that is a continuing problem for Manchester United. So overall, I would say up to this point, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done a good job as Manchester United manager. But let's move it on. How's he doing right now? Well, right now, let's all be honest, he is struggling really badly. Let's not beat about the bush. Some people might say, look, there's mitigating factors. You know, these 3 big name players come in. They've not quite gelled, have they? Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane. He's had Rashford out early in the season. But I really don't think these are excuses. The squad is too good to use those as excuses. Because the ambitions are so high this season, you know, in the Premier League, he has to deliver a huge title challenge. We have to get to those sort of 2 or 3 final games of the season with a shot of winning a Premier League title. No excuses for that with this quality of squad. In the Champions League, it would be good to go deep. Failing to get out of the group stage is an absolute catastrophe. I think even going out of the round of 16 is pretty much a catastrophe. He has to deliver at least a quarter-final. I'd say a semi-final and further would be large success, but to go out before the quarterfinals would be poor. In the FA Cup, I think anything less than a semi-final, again, would be really poor, and given the amount of semi-finals we've lost, that would probably even be a bit of a failure. I think we really have to be getting to the final and trying to win the FA Cup. That's like the minimum expectation, I would say. That level of trophy and a serious, concerted title challenge. And how likely are we to do any of those things right now? I would say at this stage, we look extremely unlikely to do any of them. In attacking areas, there are huge problems. There's a massive boatload of talent up there. Some would probably say too much talent in the forward areas because you're having to leave really top level players on the bench consistently. And despite the fact, you know, United do have the 4th best expected goals in the league, I think about 13.5 across the season so far, Liverpool and City are still putting up 20s. The attacking patterns are not there. They're just not. It's clear that United rely way too much on individual brilliance in moments from superstar players, which they've got an abundance of. And yes, that's fine in moments, but across the course of the season, you're not going to win league titles by relying on those moments of genius. It just doesn't happen. And because you've got all those stars in attacking areas, it leads to a really top-heavy 11. The midfield and the defence get badly exposed, and we are horrendous right now on the defensive transition. Teams are slicing through us like butter. We can't find a balance between attack and defence. If you look at United's expected goals against numbers, it's the 11th best in the league. There's 10 teams defending better than United in the Premier League. You're not going to win titles, compete for titles, go deep in the Champions League playing that way. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. So from the outside, it looks like there's no real attacking cohesion. The defence is getting sliced through. The midfield is getting sliced through. Set pieces are all over the place. United consistently conceding from set pieces, despite appointing a set piece coach in the summer. There's so many problems, it's hard to put your finger on one positive area. Maybe you could say Mason Greenwood's development is a positive. He is looking bigger, stronger, more aggressive, way better off the ball. His movement is ridiculous. De Gea seems to have refound classic De Gea form. But right now, 95% of the team probably, and the club, it's in negative trajectory. I've tried to say that 4 times. That'll have to do. And when you look at all of these things, you know, the attack, the defence, the set pieces, a lot of neutrals and a lot of Manchester United fans will argue that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tactically is not good enough for this group of players. And I think right now, it's hard to argue against that. The most defining thing of the Solskjaer era, in my eyes, has been fast transition, vertical football, being able to play really quickly from front to back. And in the last 2 months, that's just deserted us. It's not happening. Breaking down low blocks with attacking patterns has classically always been a problem for this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer side. That's still happening. We haven't found a solution to that 3 years into Ole's reign. So I would agree, right now, in this moment and over the last 6 weeks, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaching team are struggling tactically to get the best out of this group of players. Now, that's not me saying that I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be sacked, because I don't. I'll come on to that later. But I think things need to improve rapidly in the next 4 weeks, tactically, else his position might just end up becoming untenable. But let's go to phase 3. Let's say that Ole doesn't turn it around in the next 4 to 6 weeks, that United do end up crashing out of the Champions League, getting pumped by Liverpool on Sunday. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong, and Ole does eventually get sacked, which I think is extremely unlikely. Who is out there that could come in and get the best out of this group of players? Well, let's have a look at the bookies' favourites then. We've got Antonio Conte at the top of the list. You know, positives for Antonio Conte, I'd say Premier League proven. I think he's probably one of the 5 best coaches in world football. He definitely guarantees trophy challenges in the short term with this squad because of his huge character, his tactical geniusness. You know, he's worked with Paul Pogba before, so that's a big positive for him. However, there are a number of drawbacks that come with an Antonio Conte appointment at Manchester United, I think, too. He's classically a short-term manager, doesn't stay at clubs for an extended period of time. I'm not really sure this squad is set up for him, particularly to play that 3-5-2. You know, we're missing maybe a right wing-back. What would that mean for the future of a Rashford, Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, who want to play a little bit wider? I think he's fairly at odds with the board's vision, which is this attacking, young philosophy. I don't see that from an Antonio Conte side classically, so I think he would be a great manager for United, but I could see it ending spectacularly badly. Zidane is the next candidate, you know, serial trophy winner. He's worked with Cristiano Ronaldo before. He's extremely used to managing superstar players at Real Madrid, but there's a lot of drawbacks with Zidane. Doesn't speak English, for one. I think there are also tactical question marks, a little bit like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had. Doesn't want to manage in the Premier League, so it would take some convincing. I can't see Zidane coming to United. I think that would be a weird fit for all parties involved. One name I do really like on the list is Erik ten Hag. I think he's a great project manager. To be honest with you, one of the best tactical coaches in Europe at the moment. Look at that match against Dortmund midweek for a bit of example. They're superb at developing young talent, plays really attractive attacking football. He's worked under managers like Pep Guardiola in the past, of course, when he was coaching at Bayern Munich too. But there's drawbacks with him too. He won't leave mid-season, so if Ole does get sacked, Erik ten Hag is not coming in. He's not used to managing superstars of a caliber like Cristiano Ronaldo. Can he get Ronaldo to play in this sort of pressing front foot football? I'm not too sure. He's unproven at the top level outside of Holland, despite winning major silverware and doing it in the Champions League. I would love Ten Hag in the future. I think he's a great coach. Imagine when Woodward steps aside in January, I think it is, Edwin van der Sar comes in as CEO. That would be a pretty special appointment as well. I can see him and Ten Hag working well together. So that one has a lot of positives. As for Pochettino, there's obvious positives. He's a brilliant tactical coach, Premier League proven. He's wanted to manage Manchester United in the past. He's been very good with youth development, plays pretty attacking, front foot pressing football. There's also drawbacks. Why would he want to leave PSG mid-season when he's got the best chance he's ever had of winning a Champions League? He's nailed on to win Liga and he's working with the most talented front three in Europe. I don't see a world which Pochettino leaves mid-season unless he's sacked. And I know the fans aren't the biggest fan of Poch, so that might well happen, but it's another hypothetical on a hypothetical. That's just too much. So overall, I think the managerial options are okay. I think each of them have got their positives and there's quite a lot of drawbacks to each one too. But I have to say, I'm still Ole in. I am an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer supporter. I have to admit though, I have started questioning it heavily over the past month. And I think another month or 6 weeks of misery and my head will probably start to go down. Because results are important, and if he picks up some big results over this fixture list, which is on the screen right now, you have to take your hat off. But more important than results are performances. And right now, Manchester United performances are shit. It's a tough watch sitting through 90 minutes of Man United right now. One final thing I'll say as well is that I think the players are still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's not that toxic environment like it was under Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal and David Moyes where they're down tools, they didn't want to play for him, they were giving up in games. Clearly that's not happening. Look at the Atalanta game midweek and you can see it. Players still want him there and I still want him to succeed. Things have got to improve and they've got to improve very, very quickly. But I would be very sad to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leave the club. And that was not my reaction when Jose Mourinho left. Not my reaction at all.
The huge breaking news is that Jose Mourinho has left Manchester United. Get in!
All right, so those were my kind of honest opinions on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a Manchester United fan. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'm sure I'm going to get battered for this video, but to be honest with you, it is what it is. It's just my opinion. If you enjoyed it and want us to talk more about Man United, let us know in the comments below for Sunday Vibes. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later.